You know, I speak it now about once every 10 years or so. But in fact, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I learned Irish. I learned it at grammar school, secondary school, high school, in the way that I began to learn Latin or French at the age of 12 or so. There were a few words before then, of course, that were introduced into our vocabulary, but in a way that was very much underhand. One was not it was not the language of the state of anything. If anything, it would have been perceived in many quarters as being, somewhat actually against the state, it was a highly politicized language and still is, for better or worse. I hope actually that will change. So that by the time I was 18, for example, I did much better in my Irish exams than I ever did in my English exams, and studied it for a couple of years at university and was pretty good at it, quite good at it. But it's, I'm out of the way of it now. I really don't have the same kind of facility, not that I had a huge facility in it, but a reasonable facility in it. I still do some translation from Irish, mostly from one particular writer, Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill, who she is the great Irish language poet of the era. So I go back mostly, if any, to read her poems, to make sense of them by translating them. So that's the Irish language experience. But I went off as a kid, for example, in the way that American kids go to camp, summer camp. We went to language camp, as it were, off to the far-flung little areas of Ireland on the west coast, predominantly small, poor areas of the hard to find, out of the way spots, islands, peninsulas, where the Irish language is still being spoken.